Now, South African current inflation is sitting around 5.9% annually, which is something that, of course, it is bringing some concern to the consumers that are in South Africa. You remember that, of course, I've sort of like touched a base a bit on this topic and as to how it also affects the South African stock market, which of course is the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. I've discussed so that analysts there are analysts who are expecting interest rates to rise to 5.75% end of this year, trying to curb this high inflation. And next year, interest rates are expected to rise to about 6.5%. Still, again, try to curb this high inflation. So, inflation, ladies and gents, it is one of the things that is seriously hurting the consumers. As you know, that of course, today midnight petrol prices is going up by over 2 rands, meaning that petrol is yet again going to rise midnight tonight, which is something that of course it is going to hurt motorists out there. It is going to hurt those that uses their car for their daily activities or things that they do on a day-to-day, like myself, which is something that of course it is not good. It is going to continue to hurt the consumers. So these things, as I've said, not only do they hurt our economy, but they also hurt those publicly listed company in the JSE, which is something that of course then will end up affecting you and me that invest in companies listed in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Now, before we get deep into this topic of interest rates, of course giving you the latest developments around it, please know that this video is just an entertainment video and you should not take it as a professional financial advice video. Now, I'll really appreciate if you can just hit that likes button if you do enjoy the content that I'll be giving you about the latest inflation data, which of course I got to read about it this past weekend. So like I said, if you do enjoy this content, please consider hitting that likes button. And of course, if you're new, don't forget to hit that likes button and click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube when we do drop a new content on this channel. Now, you remember that of course this channel, for those of you that have been with us for some time, you remember that we talk only about the stock market. We talk about local and international stocks. So I give you the latest developments. I even go or extend it further and tell you the kind of stocks that I am buying and the kind of stocks that I am owning, and also tell you why I like or I'm buying those stocks, which is something that I personally believe that it is good, considering that not only do we just talk about these stocks, I also talk about the kind of stocks that I am buying now, the kind of stocks that I am putting my mind to. So please do consider hitting that subscribe button if you would like to see such a content, because this channel is all about that. Now, the CEO of Tiger Brands, which of course for those of you that know Tiger Brands, it is the largest food producer in South Africa. He came out and indicated that he expects soft commodities to go up by at least double digits in the second half of this year. So he's expecting soft commodities to go up by over 10%, which is something that of course it is serious concern. And for those of you that don't know what soft commodities are like your sugar, coffee, wheat, corn, livestock, so even meat is included. So he's expecting to see or to get to see these things increase by at least double digits in the second half of this year, which is something that we're getting to know now that I read you that it's coffee, sugar, and all the things that we almost use on a day-to-day. Just simply means that we can expect the prices of those things to continue rising further, which is something that of course it is a concern, or it is a serious concern, meaning that even the 5.9% inflation, or the current annual inflation in SA, it will probably go higher, over 6%. In fact, Nedbank also came out and said that they believe that inflation in South Africa will only start decreasing end of this year, and they expect it to go to around 6.1%. Now, looking at the fact that inflation is currently sitting at 5.9% and Nedbank sees it going to over 6.1%, as seen on the screen, you will notice that this is something that of course it is going to hurt our economy. And of course they are basing this high inflation due to Ukraine-Russia war. They are basing it on to load shedding. They are basing it on the floods that happen in the KZN, which is something that they believe that these things they are going to make inflation to rise even further. Now another CEO, guys, came out, or another CEO of one of South Africa's food producing company also came out and said that he expects food to rise between 5 to 10%. So that was his prediction. Now again, this just has to show you that one way or the other, we are going to see food prices again going up. We are going to see petrol prices going up. I mean, petrol prices already, like I said, midnight, I think today it's going up by over 2 rands, which is something that again, it must just show you that it looks like we are not yet out of this spider web. And guess what this will do to the companies listed in the JSE? This is going to hurt their growth. This is going to hurt their revenues they generate yearly, because like I said, the more this thing get to be expensive is the more we see a few people going out there and going to buy these things. I mean, if prices of food are going up, it just definitely means that some foods or some items that you used to include on your grocery list, they are going to end up cutting some, because the money won't be enough for you to buy the things that you used to buy, which guess what, those companies like your Pick and Pay, like your ShopRite, that generates revenue from these things are going to be impacted. Same with your properties. If these inflation continues to rise, meaning that if the prices of the properties continue rising, we are going to see few people going out there and actually going to buy properties. And of course, you remember that with inflation and also interest rate hikes, these things, especially to those that now want to go take out loans to buy some of the things they like, they get restricted or they become hesitant by that, because they would not want to take a loan that they will end up paying so much. So this thing, not only does it affect or bring an impact or harm to us, the consumers, but it also hurt companies, those that are offering such services. Companies like Pick and Pay, which are publicly listed in the JSE, public companies like ShopRite, companies like Baldwin Properties, ATEC, those property companies, companies like, of course, your automakers that are listed in the stock exchange get hurt by this, because ladies and gents, these high inflation, interest rate hikes, not, like I said, only does it hurt consumers, but it hurt also the companies, which is something that of course you must have or bear in mind. So this 6.1% inflation, which Nedbank came out and said that they believe that we will get to this year, it is one of the things that, yeah, it makes me to be concerned about our economy. It makes me to be concerned about the companies that are listed in the stock exchange or Johannesburg Stock Exchange in terms of the revenue that they will be able to generate this year. So these are some of the things that I just thought I should just bring to your attention, because I believe that as a stock or as a retail investor, you definitely need to be aware of this thing when you are investing in the stock market or in the stocks that are listed in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, as of course you will be impacted in terms of growth. Like I said, those companies might not grow the way they were doing so in the previous years due to high inflation and high interest rate hikes, which is something that, of course, as a retail investor, you must closely, or these are some of the things that we must closely monitor, as they are really important. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I should just give you this quick update. And if you enjoyed this video, like I said at the beginning of this video, please do consider hitting that likes button. I'll really appreciate if you can do that. Otherwise, if you are new, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so that you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.